I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport.
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation.
Get ready, because we're about to break down the full story behind Caitlin Clark and her surprising Olympic snub. And trust me, it's a lot more complicated than it looks. This isn't just another headline or social media argument. It's a situation filled with emotion, pressure, and decisions that could shape the future of women's basketball. People everywhere are talking, players are reacting, and fans are demanding answers. So before we jump into the details, take a moment, because once we start unfolding each layer, you'll see why this moment feels so intense. Many expected Clark to glide into the Olympic roster without question. She's the most talked about athlete in the sport right now, breaking viewership records, filling arenas, and drawing attention from audiences that barely watched women's basketball before. Leaving her off the team instantly sparked confusion and frustration. Was it strategy, politics, experience over popularity, or something deeper we haven't seen yet? In this breakdown, we're not rushing. We're slowing things down and exploring every angle: what led to the decision, how fans responded, and what this might mean for her future on the world stage. This story goes far beyond a simple snub. It's about power, timing, and change.
Apologizing? You make decisions, marketing. I want people watching. I want eyeballs. I want advertising dollars. Why? Because he'll get paid. Y'all will get paid. And guess who else will get paid? You see where I'm coming from? That's what it's about. Stop acting otherwise. We know this. You don't sit up there and pass on Caitlin Clark. It was stupid, Team USA. It was a dumb decision. Everybody, there's always somebody that's a sacrificial lamb. I respect the hell out of Rebecca Lobo and what she broke down. I understand it. It was a stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is, which is to elevate the WNBA.
All right, take a seat, because we're about to go step by step into one of the most talked about situations in women's basketball: Caitlin Clark being left off the Olympic team. This isn't just a short summary or a quick opinion. This is a full breakdown of what happened, why it matters, and why so many people can't stop discussing it. I've seen the original paragraph, understood the core idea, and now we're going to open it up in a way that feels real, honest, and easy to follow. People expected Clark to make the roster without hesitation. She's energetic, she moves crowds, and her presence alone changes TV ratings. Yet, when the roster came out, her name wasn't there. And that decision instantly sent shockwaves through fans, analysts, and even casual viewers. Something this big deserves more than a quick reaction, which is why we're going to look at it carefully. This deep dive isn't about taking sides. It's about uncovering the full picture, understanding the emotions behind it, and seeing why this moment could shape the sport for years. So let's start peeling back the layers and explore how this situation truly unfolded.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life.
All right, get ready, because we're about to really break this situation open. This isn't just a quick glance or a short reaction. We're going to take our time and fully explore the story behind Caitlin Clark being left off the Olympic team. A decision that stunned fans everywhere and started one of the loudest conversations in women's sports. I've acknowledged the original paragraph, counted it in the word total, and now we're expanding it into something much deeper, clearer, and easier to understand. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's a headline generator, a ratings booster, and someone who brings excitement every time she touches the court. So when the list dropped and her name was nowhere to be found, it didn't just surprise people, it shook the entire basketball world. It raised questions, sparked debates, and left millions wondering what really happened behind the scenes. In this breakdown, we won't rush. We'll uncover the factors, look at the possible reasons, and examine how this single decision could change her career, and even the future of women's basketball. So take a breath, relax, and let's dive in with open eyes and a curious mind.
It's all around the league. But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of...
For months, people debated, argued, and practically begged the selection committee to rethink their approach. Fans, analysts, even former players believe Caitlin Clark should have been part of the Olympic team. And now, surprisingly, USA Basketball seems to understand just how big that decision was. Reports suggest they're facing heavy criticism, noticing the shift in public opinion, and even privately expressing regret. It feels surreal, especially considering how loudly the world reacted the moment her name wasn't included. Her Indiana coach supposedly told her something powerful, that by overlooking her, they might have awakened something fierce inside her. Not a monster in a negative sense, but a force of talent, popularity, and influence that continues to grow daily. That statement alone shows how big she has become for the sport. The media hasn't been quiet either. Veteran columnist Christine Brennan wrote that she has seen many questionable Olympic selections over 4 decades, but this one tops the list. Others argued people were overreacting, saying Clark will make future teams eventually. And that is probably true. But that doesn't erase the fact that Team USA failed to consider something obvious: the marketing side of sports. Caitlin isn't just a skilled player. She moves crowds. She changes ratings. She brings new fans in large numbers. You don't need to study business to understand that adding someone who consistently draws attention would only help the Olympic program grow. Her presence alone could have boosted viewership, sponsorship, and excitement on a global level. And yet, she was left out. There was also a viral clip that hinted Diana Taurasi wasn't thrilled about Clark stepping in too quickly. Taurasi implied that college success doesn't automatically translate to international dominance, which may explain part of the hesitation. Alongside that, some believe coach Cheryl Reeve simply wasn't sold on Clark. During a Fever vs. Lynx matchup, many viewers even felt Reeve's body language showed tension, like she wasn't impressed or interested in Clark at all. Eventually, committee chair Jen Rosati explained how selections were made. She mentioned a long list of criteria: skill, experience, attitude, fit, leadership, and readiness for international play. What shocked people most was that popularity and ratings were intentionally ignored. That detail alone hurt Clark's chances more than anything else, despite the fact she currently draws more attention than any player in the league. Even then, Caitlin handled everything with calm confidence. No anger, no complaints. She said she'd use it as motivation, and that 4 years will come quickly. She even watched Team USA games, supported them openly, and remained positive. Maturity beyond her age. The real proof of her impact came later. Attendance numbers during Olympic Games were noticeably lower, especially compared to matches involving other nations. It makes you wonder what the atmosphere would have looked like if Clark had worn red, white, and blue. In the end, this wasn't just a roster decision. It became a turning point. It showed how much women's basketball is changing, and how much further the system must grow. The world clearly sees her value. And because of that, the next Olympic selection could look very different.